Are we live? Are we live? Yes, we're live. Oh, it's cold in here. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? How is everyone? Free Luigi. Drew! We need a strong Republican Party. Hi from Algeria. Hello. All right, let me just put that on here. Sorry, guys, I'm late again. I'm trying every week. All right, good. All right, so first of all, careful what you guys actually write and say on social media because you know the feds are watching you, right? um okay, but I just forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, in the Discord, in the Blakeley Discord, I was asking people what day you guys wanted to, like, members, what day you guys wanted to do an AMA. And hey Donald, what day that you guys wanted to do an AMA. I need you to answer the poll. I made a poll, which now I'm probably gonna have to do next week because I didn't get all the answers. And I didn't get all the answers, although I think maybe you can do a members only poll in YouTube. That's possible. Doing paper and doing paperwork to legally change money. Yeah, so I just don't know why I lost my train of thought. Yeah, oh, that's what it was. So I told you guys last week that I would do an AMA for members, whether it was members on Patreon, Ko-Fi, or YouTube. And I think I can do a poll here. I can do a poll within the YouTube website. So I need to do that. I did put one in Discord, in the Blakeley Discord, which is also in the YouTube link, YouTube community link. So you should go there and fill it out. And then I can also create one for here. What day we could do the AMA. I was originally going to do it I was originally going to do it this week, but it didn't end up working out. So I'm going to do it next week. I was originally going to do it Tuesday or Wednesday. Tonight's obviously Wednesday, but I didn't get enough answers. So I'm probably going to do it next week. This is just a regular live stream. So anyway, I was going to talk about the Democratic Party and what losers they are and how tired I am of their lies. But we don't have to talk about that if you guys don't want to. You can tell me what you want to. Wait. Gangrene Thumb, did somebody quit TYT live on air? I see videos, but these people don't say who. Maybe clickbait, but multiple sources. Who? Has anybody else heard that? I haven't heard that.
Oh, there you go. Looking for mine.
Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me now? Wait. Yes, I was there last night. Where were you, Donald? This party was supposed to be the party of the people. Yes, and not only just that, it's not just that they're a party of elites and people who protect corporations and not people, is that at every turn, this is one of the things that I think makes the Democrats so full of shit and so just like I want to vomit when I hear them talking about how they're really going to look into things and reform, is that at every turn that people tried to make the party progressive, that somebody who was left of center tried to come in and change the party, they viciously attacked them and shut it down at every turn. Every time somebody tried to do that, tried to reform them, they would come in with their heavy ass blue foot and crush it. Crush it. It is a dictatorship of the bourgeoisie. True. Hey Zach, how you doing? Oh, Mondale Robinson was the one who quit TYT. Yeah, you know what? We don't need progressives in disarray while the Democratic Party just had its ass kicked and is also themselves in shambles. This would be a good time for like progressives to clean their own shit up and kind of like start working together. But instead, they're fighting, of course, because that's what the left does always. Yeah, 100%. So what made me decide to use this as the title is that I want to show you guys this clip from Pod Save America. It's so cringe. And remind everybody, because I think it's important that everybody be reminded of this on a regular basis. And then we can go in and talk about other stuff. But not really, Benny. You're here. I've only been on for a few minutes. But I want to remind everyone that the Democratic Party has no interest in reform. I just don't want people to get suckered. They have no interest in reform. First of all, as somebody just pointed out, the progressive left is in disarray, okay? You have like people fighting with TYT, Mondale Robinson quitting, like all this shit within the progressive left of them fighting with each other instead of actually taking on like the corporate Democrats. And then you have loser Democrats talking about putting Rahm Emanuel, which I made a video about a while back. It's on my page somewhere. Putting Rahm Emanuel as head of the DNC. Like, they are showing you they have no plan on changing. So I don't want people to get suckered into believing that the Democrats are working to reform when they're not. I don't want people believing that the Democratic Party is working on fixing shit when they're not working on fixing shit. And when they say they're going to be working on fixing shit and say they're going to reform, they are lying, because their attacks on the left and their attacks on people who want universal health care and shit like that are always on purpose, and they are always vicious. Think about how whenever they're fighting the Republicans, it's always so weak sauce. It's always so weak sauce. And then when they're fighting the progressives, the Democrats fight the progressives, they're vicious. They're vicious when they fight the progressives. And every single time there has tried to be a progressive movement within the Democratic Party has crushed it every single time. Every single time there's tried to be movement to the left in the Democratic Party, they have crushed it. They crushed it with Bernie Sanders. They crushed it with the squad. They crushed it with all the people that tried to reform the DNC after Hillary Clinton lost and take on super delegates. In fact, the DNC has moved right. They took out opposing the death penalty out of their platform. They put in their platform their undying loyalty to the genocidal Israeli regime, but then they won't put Medicare for all in there. Like, ridiculous. They're not interested in reform. Remember when Jessica Cisneros, who was a progressive, was running against Henry Cuellar, who is a literal criminal? Like, criminal. He got caught taking bribes from Azerbaijan. And Nancy Pelosi's corrupt ass went all the way down to Texas in order to campaign for him just to fuck over Jessica Cisneros and the left. Like, it's a joke. It's an actual joke. So yeah, what I'm really getting tired of is Democrats pretending like they're interested in reform. And honestly, some progressives just taking them at their word. You know what I mean? Like, there are progressives that are just taking them at their word, that are like, oh, yeah, the Democrats are saying that they're going to reform. And, good. I'm glad they're going to. Says who? What evidence do we have at all that the Democrats are at all interested in not just reform, but self-reflection? What evidence do we have that they are interested at all in cleaning up this disgusting mess of a corrupt party? Do we have evidence of that? Is talking about Rahm Emanuel being the chair, the head of the DNC, is that the reforms you guys are talking about? Like, what? Is continuing to have the death penalty in the DNC platform and not putting Medicare for all in, but putting like undying loyalty to the Israeli regime? Is that the reforms we're talking about? Is telling people that when we have another election, if we even do in 2028, that we should be looking at hacks on stacks, Pete Wine Cave Buttigieg? Get out of here. That is not a party that is interested in, once again, not just reform, but any self-reflection as to why they lost. They're not even interested in reflecting on why they lost. Yeah, look what they did to Nina Turner. Absolutely. The way that they smeared her and undermined her and attacked her. And like Jamie Harrison, that hack. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Henry Cuellar is A+ rated with the NRA, and he also is against abortion. He's anti-choice. And you know what? I think actually people would let that go if he was for pro democratic economic policy like Medicare for all, higher minimum wages, taxes on billionaires and the rich. People would let that go because people understand that there are cultural differences in different parts of the country. Now, I know that people will say, abortion is not a cultural difference. It's healthcare. I understand that. But you also need to understand that there are many people in this country, especially in the Bible Belt and the evangelicals, that don't see it that way. So we can have that argument. But I guess my question is this. Why do we have more tolerance for people being hacks when it comes to economic policy in the Democratic Party, but no tolerance for ideological diversity when it comes to cultural issues? Okay. So when it comes to culture war issues like guns and abortion, it's all, oh yeah, we've got plenty of ideological, diversity. But when it comes to being a giant hack for corporations in the military industrial complex and a sellout to working people, then you're allowed to be ideologically diverse. I meant to say there's not ideological diversity when it comes to guns and abortion, but when it comes to being a sellout hack, there is. No. Guys, the litmus test. Now, I don't even know why I'm bothering to say this, because they do not care about what people on the left think. They hate the left. Like, they actually despise the left. But if they didn't, the litmus test for a good party, an opposition party to the Republican Party, should be Medicare for all, taxes on billionaires, supporting workers' rights, supporting unions, economic policy. That should be the litmus test. But is it? Though? No. Yeah, they're not, but they're not going to reform. They're not interested in that. Again, they're not even interested in self-reflection. Forget about reform. They don't even want to acknowledge the fact that they fuck so many people over. They don't even want to acknowledge that their policies are garbage. And that's the other thing, okay? You're going to see people who are going to come out on the left in Democrat. You're going to see Democrats come out and they're going to pretend that they're taking this seriously. They're going to be like, yeah, guys, we really need to reform and we're taking it seriously. We're checking under the hood. You know, we're reflecting, but then they won't stand up to anybody in their own party. And the disgusting amount of like gerontocracy and corruption within the Democratic Party and the hierarchy, the gross top-down hierarchy in the Democratic Party. You won't see them confront that. And that's why you shouldn't take them seriously. Because if any of them were serious, they would start taking on the actual Democratic Party, the structure, the DNC, the Democratic leadership, the fact that it's this top-down bullshit, that there's more like democracy within the Republican Party than there is the Democratic Party, that there's this creep shit of like worshiping the leaders and never stepping out of line. If you see someone who calls themselves a progressive and they are not willing to start a fucking fight with the corporate Democrats, just know they're frauds. Just know they're frauds. Thank you so much, Dee's Corner, for the super chat. I hate that there are libs out there who were still saying Kamala wasn't responding. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Anybody that's saying that is a clown, is an actual clown. Like, that's ridiculous. Of course she was responsible for her own loss. It wasn't just her, obviously, but she was a part of it. And one of the reasons why is because she was a manager when people wanted a leader. Okay. I don't remember who I heard say that. I heard that on somebody else's podcast. And when I heard it, I was like, that's correct. That is correct. So remind me if any of you guys know what I'm talking about. But somebody said that Kamala Harris, one of the reasons why she lost, and there were many, but that was one of them, was because she was not a leader. She was a manager who just wanted to manage the status quo. Democrats were running on the status quo. We love the institutions, even though everybody else hates them and they're corrupt as fuck. We love protect the institutions, the norms. And everyone hates that. And thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Just know that you can send super chats during this live stream to moi. If you're not on YouTube, you can send Venmo donations or you can become a member on Ko-Fi or Patreon. I want to create a Patreon wall, like a wall for all my patrons and for the YouTube members. And I also want to, and you can also become a member through YouTube or Ko-Fi, and yes, or donate to my Venmo, because you support the work that I am doing, and I appreciate and love you all for it. Especially shout out to all my members. I love you guys so much. You guys are the absolute best. Get in the Discord if you're not already in the Discord, folks. Thank you so much for the super chat, Venom. Does it bother you that I poo while watching you? Not at all. Do you, boo? Do you, boo, while you poo? Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so I have an accent? Someone wrote, can somebody tell me where Blakeley comes from? I'm trying to place that accent and it's driving me crazy. I don't have an accent. I don't have an accent. I'm in New York. I'm not from New York, but I am a New Yorker. Okay? That's how this works. Because in New York, it says when you live here for 10 years, then you are officially a New Yorker. I don't think I have an accent. No, I'm not from the South, actually. Yeah, I have an American accent, I guess. I think the rest of the world we do. You sound like a Long Islander. God forbid. I am not. Yeah, it's not like I'm saying Americans don't have accents. Like, yes, Southern Americans have accents. Midwestern Americans have accents. Yeah, even Californians have like a certain kind of that famous like Valley Girl accent. People in Long Island have, New York have accents. I'm not saying Jersey. I'm not saying that Americans don't have accents. I'm saying me as an American, I don't think I do. Of course, everybody knows infamously Massachusetts has accents. Massachusetts, in case you guys are really wondering, and I won't go on too long about it because I'm not here to bore you about myself. You sound like a Bushwick girl. Well, you know, I did live in Bushwick for years. 4 years. I love Bushwick. Bushwick is wonderful. It's a neighborhood in Brooklyn. Okay, so just a quick rundown. I have lived in at least 10 states in the United States. I was born in Massachusetts, but I did not grow up there. We moved when I was like 3, and then I lived in Virginia, and then we were homeless and we're all over the country living in our car and in homeless shelters. Then we moved to Colorado, and that's where I consider myself from because I lived there the longest. And then I moved back to Massachusetts and lived there for a little bit, and then I moved to New York and became a New Yorker. And that's how that went. I would have guessed Chicago. No, Chicago's one of the places I haven't lived. Yes, many, many. That's why I always say, like, I'm from Colorado because, like, I wasn't actually born in Colorado, but I lived in Colorado for probably the longest that I lived in any other state besides New York. But I also say now that I'm a New Yorker because I have lived here for 10 years. I lived in Fort Collins, Colorado. My sister still lives there. She lives in Denver. I also lived in South Carolina. Not South Carolina. I'm sorry. I lived in North Carolina. We lived in Nebraska for a little bit. We lived in Las Vegas for like 2 seconds while we were homeless. Can we all agree that Rappaport ruined the Boston accent for everyone? I don't think he has a Boston accent. I feel like he has like a really ugly New York accent. Yeah, don't let anybody. Okay, wait, hold on. I want to get into that D's corner, but I don't want to have to spend any more time editing this once I finish it to break it up into segments. So it's already a lot of work. So I want to finish this Democratic story or the story I wanted to show you from PodSave, and then we'll get into the thing. The Luigi Mangione. Hey, Mo Business. Okay. Let me add the screen. No way you was homeless in Vegas. We weren't in the shelters, though. We were living in our car. All I remember, because I was really young at the time, was that we were living in our car, and my sisters and I went swimming, and the water was hot. I remember that. All right, let's share this. Oh, we're going to have to go over this too. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to go over this. Oh, where was it? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find the clip. I was distracted earlier, too, because we were watching the Piers But Do You Condemn Hamas show that he had with Brianna Joy Gray and that one Zionist cuck from Outkick, I think it's called. And he was like, actually, I'm in Israel right now, touring it. Like, oh, you went there to pay homage. You went there to do your little bended knee simping for the little tap dance for the Israeli regime, so they'll give you money. Is that what you're there for? And he's arguing, defending the wealthy elites and the corporations that screw over American people, the American people every day, while the Israeli regime gets healthcare that we pay for. Got it. Yeah, Brianna Joy Gray attacked me one time, like not that long ago on Twitter because I said I wasn't a fan of Jill Stein or the Green Party. But nonetheless, she is very, very smart. She's a very good podcast host, and she is an excellent debater. I really enjoy watching her debate people. She's very good at it. And the thing is now that, I am in this space and I do a lot of like political commentary and deal with a lot of people, including pundits and activists. What I'm trying to do is have a short memory and like forgiveness, like be quick to forgive. You know what I mean? Because like that is not going to be the last time that somebody in the left space attacks me. It's happened before. It's going to happen again. And I'm going to try to be quick to forgive and have a short memory when it comes to that. Because if you start to hate everybody and alienate everybody that is on your side, then you will continue to be a fragmented bunch of losers like we are on the left. The left is a bunch of fragmented, useless people where we have absolutely no power and absolutely no influence on anything because all we do is fight with each other. So I'm trying to practice what I preach and not do that. That doesn't mean, no, and I'm not saying that doesn't mean that you can't criticize other people on the left, that you can't criticize other pundits or commentators, but it shouldn't be this endless, like constant, just like constant infighting where you hate each other. And then because they said something that personally offended you, now you kind of try to get them kicked out of the left space. It's just like, it's such a mess. The right wing doesn't do that. And we would be smart to learn from them. That's not allowed on the left. I know. It happens way too much. It really does. That's why I'm trying not to engage in it. And again, that doesn't mean that you can't criticize people on the left for having shitty takes or that you don't agree with. But I feel like when it comes to the left, that's all it is. All it is I never want to talk to this person again. Not only do I not agree with them or I hate what they say, but now I actually want to make sure that I'm undermining them and getting my whole community to attack them relentlessly and say they're not actually on the left. Like, imagine if the right did that. Imagine they do not do that. You don't see Tim Pool fighting all day, every day with like Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro while they try to outright wing each other and say who's more on the right. Like they don't do that. They actually lift each other up. Would you go on Piers Morgan or Jubilee if you had the chance to? I would definitely go on Piers, but do you condemn Hamas Morgan? Absolutely, without a doubt. That would be very fun. Jubilee, maybe. I'm not sure. I feel like it's a little douche. Like it's a little like canned. It feels canned. It doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel like they authentically have people on to have discussions or even arguments. Like it just feels very like, I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know why the left cannibalizes itself. Yeah, I know. It's the thing about the left too that's really depressing is that the left used to be funny. Like used to have a great sense of humor. The left are so like hall monitor now. Everything's like being a hall monitor, zero sense of humor. It's just I don't know how the left became like that. I need to look into that more. I need to look in that more because there was a time where like the left were the subversive, fun, like regular people. And they're not anymore. The left oftentimes is, scolding, hall monitors, constantly trying to get people canceled. And not to say the right doesn't engage in cancel culture too, because they absolutely do. So let's not get twisted. But like the left does have like this whole like hall monitor vibe. I know I keep using hall monitor. I'm trying to get my thoughts out, like process them in real time. I want to look into what happened to the left, how they went from being this subversive, fun group to this basically band of elites that acts like that being on the left is a club that's exclusive. Like the left should be more welcoming, and we absolutely aren't. The left always treats the left like it's this exclusive, party that you can't sit with us. Like that's like the vibe. I actually hate the left. I'm on the left. I would say I'm on the left, but the left is unbearable. Let's not get that twisted either. But I have to be on the left because that's where the correct and moral policies are. Like I couldn't be a neoliberal centrist. I would have to watcha. Holy shit. Gangrene Thumb. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Wow, shout out Gangrene Thumb. Thank you so much. What an incredibly generous super chat. That's so kind of you. Thank you. And Merry Christmas to you too. Canceled. They're trying to cancel Christmas. Remember the war on Christmas? Remember the war on Christmas? That is so, honestly, I'm moved, Gangrene Thumb. Thank you so much. That is incredibly, incredibly generous of you. That took me by surprise a little bit. All right, let me catch up on. Yeah. Yeah, so Santa, I forgot about that. Santa's just white. Okay? I forgot about yeah, I totally forgot about that. Walter Matterson just dropped a War on Christmas spoof. Oh, I think I saw that. Walter Masterson, I think that's his name, is really funny. And you know what? That's what I'm saying. You can appreciate people who aren't exactly everything you agree with. Walter Masterson is a lot more like lib, like he would definitely be what I would call like a Democratic liberal, a more mainstream liberal, but he is funny. I think I saw that. I appreciate his sketches. No, one of the best War on Christmas videos ever is the one of Sam Cedar. Like, absolutely, hands down. Do you guys, a lot of people won't remember this. I only know it because I've seen people share it so many times because I was so young when this happened. But he did the like thing where he went on CNN and totally made a fool of this guy for the War on Christmas. Oh my gosh. Benny Julius. Oh my gosh. That is, I'm honestly like, I can't believe that. Thank you guys so much. Like, I'm going to be able to I'm like, this is amazing. I'm going to actually be able to like pay my electric bill on time. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Benny. HMPH. I don't know what that means, but I like to see somebody top this. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate that. That's so incredibly generous and kind. And I really appreciate just, anything that you guys do to support my work and my channel so that I can continue to grow this channel and be able to support myself while I do. I just and all my social media channels and everything. That is just incredibly kind, Benny. I can't believe that. Thank you so much. You just joined. Do you guys want, okay, I want to show you guys the unbearable clip of the Pod Save Bros. Hold on, let me grab it because I was getting distracted by your incredible generosity and making it so, you know, it is absolutely because of you guys that I can even do this, And I, you know, sometimes struggle because I feel sometimes overwhelmed that like I don't have like a partner or something. You know how a lot of people have like, you know, partners, they've got podcast hosts that kind of help them. This is like a one-man show and I do everything by myself. So it can sometimes feel overwhelming and exhausting, but it is everything that I do is just because of the fact that I have the support of amazing people like you who support my work, who are supporting what I'm doing, who are in this journey with me, who care about the things that I care about and are helping me build this channel and build around the content that I make to get the message out that we're trying to get out. So thank you so much. Other ways that you can support me are through donating to my Venmo, or you can become a member on YouTube, or you can become a member on Patreon or Ko-Fi, which again, eventually I really want to create like a cute, like Patreon thing board, I think, and some cute shirts for like our little thing, once I can afford it. So somebody told me about another leftist who is named Letter Hack, I think they said his name was, and he does designs and that he makes like really, really cool art. Eventually, I want to be able to like hire him to like help us with merch and yeah, help us with like merch and help us like with things related to art in the channel. Eventually we'll get there, but we're building it. We're building it one day at a time, folks. We're building it one day at a time. And it is because of the support of you guys that we're able to build this together. So again, thank you so much for everyone who donates a super chat, becomes a member. I am overwhelmed with gratitude from Gangrene Thumb and Benny for those incredible super chats. I'm so moved. Thank you so much. And yeah, let's keep building it here. Blakeley based. Blakeley the based. The based Blakeley. Okay. All right. So can we please make fun of this clip? Make fun of this unbearable cringe clip. And then let's also make fun of peers, but do you okay, actually no, I don't want to get too distracted. Okay. We're about 40 minutes into this stream and we're gonna do two. We're gonna do one clip. You guys tell me in chat which ones you would rather do. Which clip? Would you rather do the War on Christmas clip of Sam Cedar, which is fun? It's very fun. Or would you rather do the clip of Pierce, but do you condemn Hamas Morgan crying to Breonna Joy Gray about the healthcare CEO? You guys tell me. But I have to do this clip of the Pod Save Bros just because I put it in the stream's title. So, all right, we're going to watch it and then we're going to comment. Let me know that you guys can hear, please. All right, let me know you guys can hear it.
Part of what happens when you end up only debating, can
you guys hear it? I wish it would let me create a poll in here. Like, it doesn't let me create a poll. That would be fun to be able to create a poll. Okay, good. It's working. It looks like Piers Badu condemn Hamas is winning. Blanc. I like that acronym. All right, fam. Let's watch this. Okay. So to set the stage, as we all know, we are having both a conversation about what giant losers the Democratic Party are and how they refuse to learn and they refuse to change. Okay. They refuse at all, like not interested in changing, not interested in reform, not interested in self-reflection. And then simultaneously, we're having this conversation about the United Healthcare CEO that was assassinated allegedly by Luigi Mangione, the Italian stallion. And people, which again, I'm going to continue to say alleged because you are innocent in this country until proven guilty. He has not been proven guilty of anything. So, yeah, and Pierce, but do you condemn Hamas? Oh, wait, no, I got distracted. That's a different part. We're going to move on to that video. Okay. And then, so these guys on PodSave are pretending that they're interested in the reform conversation. They're not. And so, of course, as we're having this healthcare discussion and this argument about healthcare, they're going to tell you why you don't deserve universal healthcare, why we shouldn't have universal healthcare. And for some reason, we're talking about Pete Winecave Buttigieg again, somebody who should never be considered for higher office ever. He's literally everything about elites that people hate. I love that. He's like, he thought it was such a great idea. He goes, yes, yes. First of all, it is a straw man to say that we can't have both conversations. That's a straw man. Why can't we have a conversation about Medicare for all or single payer healthcare while also talking about right now lowering the Medicare age, eligibility age? Why not? Like acting like we can't is just not honest, is bad faith. Also, the idea that Medicare for all who want it is anything other than a red herring is also bullshit. Yeah, the problem is we commodify things in this country that shouldn't be commodified. Creatures of the algorithm, read your chat more. I do. Shut up. I literally do. I read it throughout the entire stream. Anyway. Hey, Mo.
Debating when the debate becomes about are you for single payer or against single payers, you don't have other debates. A debate like, should we lower the Medicare eligibility age to 60? How about that?
Or I was going to say, to your point about people liking Medicare so much, I think that the plan offered in 2020 that was both the best plan, but also the most politically palatable plan, and that most people liked it, was, remember Pete Buttigieg proposed Medicare for all who want it?
Yes.
And so basically it would allow anyone, if you really want Medicare and you want to be covered by Medicare, you can choose.
Sorry, you guys, I just realized what happened. It was on the wrong tab. That's why the video wasn't playing. It wasn't playing because I had on the wrong tab. See, this is what's so annoying and rageful about only having like the ability to do live on my laptop and not have like two monitors. Because if you have two monitors, it's easy to see both, but I have to switch between tabs and like sharing tabs. So I was on the wrong tab, I guess. It's saying though that it's playing now, right? Okay, let me restart then. Also, I like John Favreau out here trying to act like he's relatable while he's drinking a diet fucking Coke. Like, get out of here. Also, I got distracted by that one guy who said I wasn't reading my chat. But what I was going to say was, why would you say, like, things that are commodities in this country, healthcare should not be one of the things that we treat as a for-profit commodity, because people will die if they don't have it, and they do. That's why it's so dumb when I see idiots being like, well, actually, Walmart makes more money than they do. They have a higher, you know, per capita, whatever the fuck. It's like, yeah, well, Walmart isn't selling healthcare. Like, all right, so I'm just going to re-see. Geez, Gangrene Thumb, thank you so much. I'm like genuinely like a little overwhelmed, like by how incredibly generous you guys are being tonight. Like, I don't even know how this happened. This never happens to me. Last stream that I was on, I don't even think I got more than like 2 super chats. Was it? No, maybe it wasn't 2. It was like 4. I think I got like 4 super chats, but it was low. So I honestly can't believe that I've gotten this many super chats. This is more than I've ever had, ever. Like, this is amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I am so, it's so kind of you guys. So kind of you guys. Booker, I don't drink soda in general. It'll be like $500 after Google skims. True. Okay. That is true. They do. That's the reason why I always say that, that I prefer Venmo. People sending me money to Venmo because they don't take the kind of money. I don't think they take any money where Google takes 30%. However, I'm not complaining, okay? Because I just got 3 incredibly generous super chats from 3 incredibly amazing people in my community, and I'm not complaining. Thank you so much, you guys. So kind, so kind. I don't even think I was so like, that was so generous of Gangrene Thumb. I don't even think I read the super chat. Privatized healthcare for those who want it. Yeah. Thank you so much, Gangrene Thumb. Thank you so much. All right, let's power bill paid. For real though, guys. For real. Like I was, my electric bill is pretty high. So I'm excited that I'm going to have no problem paying it this month. Best chat ever, really. We do have a great chat here. We do. I tell you guys this all the time that I love my YouTube community. You guys are amazing. All right, let's rewatch this. But I love how he goes, when he brings up Medicare for all who want it, he's like, yes.
Part of what happens when you end up only debating, when the debate becomes about, are you for single payer or against single payer, is you don't have other debates. A debate like, should we lower the Medicare eligibility age to 60? How about that?
Or I was going to say, to your point about people liking Medicare so much, I think that the plan offered in 2020 that was both the best plan, but also the most politically palatable plan, and that most people liked it, was, remember Pete Buttigieg proposed Medicare for all who want it?
Yes.
And so basically it would allow anyone, if you really want Medicare and you want to be covered by Medicare, you can choose that. And if you really don't want that and you really want your private health insurance plan, you can choose that. And the idea would be that Medicare would be so popular that more and more people would buy in, and we would eventually transition to a system where Medicare covers everyone.
There's a lot of, yes, that was a sort of a form of a public option. But like, you lower the Medicare, like, you know, the public option was killed from Obamacare, and it was killed by a bunch of senators. They all hid behind Joe Lieberman. It was killed by a bunch of people. But one thing that Joe Lieberman personally killed was the Medicare buy-in for people. And that was just a policy to help. Like, if you were between the ages of 60 and 65, that is where your health, you're not yet in Medicare, but you still are in the age where you're starting to have more and more health problems. It's extremely.
By the way, it wasn't just Joe Lieberman, but they still do that. The Democrats always have a convenient boogeyman whenever they're pretending to pass legislation that would help us. It happens every time. It happened during the Build Back Better negotiations. It happened during the minimum wage fight. It was Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. And now it's going to be that ogre fucking piece of shit Israeli shill, John Fetterman. They always have a convenient boogeyman to kill any legislation that would actually help the American people. Thank you, Gangrene Thumb, for the super chat. Please set up Cash App. Venmo doesn't work for me. I tried. Oh, I actually do have Cash App. I do. I should add it. I forgot about Cash App. I will set it up. In fact, I think I should change my Cash App. I should change my Cash App thing, but I forget my handle, but I forget what it's called. I'll tell you at the end once I find it. But you know what I'm gonna do too, Gangrene Thumb, or for anybody who is able to donate to me at Cash App, I'll put it in my link tree. Because I have like the links to like how people can support me in my link tree. So I will add Cash App to that. What is a YT cut? I think it means YouTube cut. Yeah, I think it means YouTube cut. It's 30%. They take 30% of everything we earn, creators earn. I can't believe I used to watch this podcast. I know, Betty, we all have podcasts that we're like, I can't believe I used to watch this. The whole bullshit scream we call the economy. True. I thank God I'm an Aussie when I hear Americans' horror stories about their dog shit healthcare system. You poor God. You know, the thing is too about this, Donna, I would say this to everybody who is not an American. Hold on to your healthcare and do not listen to any ghoul that comes in and tries to tell you they need to privatize it. Hold that shit until they pry it from your cold, dead hands. Because we already see them trying to do that in the UK and in Canada, where they go, actually, the healthcare system's really broken here. We need to privatize it or have a public-private partnership. It's bullshit. It's a lie. Do not ever allow them to take your free healthcare from you. If they try, you guys should be rioting in the streets. When they say privatize, they mean ruin it. They mean defund it. They mean take it away from you and give all the gains to the private elite so that they can profit off your sickness. It is exactly what they do here in the United States. And yes, we should start a trend. We should start a hashtag that people can share their stories. Like their stories, their horror healthcare stories. I am actually surprised this isn't already happening. We should have a hashtag on Twitter, on every social media platform, where we should be starting a trend called, like, I don't know, my healthcare story or my healthcare horror story or something like that. Some kind of hashtag like that people in the United States can share on every social media platform, their personal horror stories with the American healthcare system, because it is abhorrent. This system that we have is vicious, and it drives me crazy when I'll hear people say, oh, well, in the UK and in Canada, they have long wait times. Bitch, they have really long wait times in this country too. The only time you don't have a long wait time is if you're wealthy. If you're wealthy, you can get in quick. If you're not, you're on that fucking waiting list. Not to mention that even when you do have a doctor, they'll tell you that you can't see certain doctors because they're not in your network. And even if you can see the doctor, that you might not be able to even go to the hospital because that doctor's office may not be in network. And then even if you go to one that's in network, you've got to meet a bullshit deductible that you have to get past. Let's say it's a $3,000 or a $5,000 deductible that you have to pay out of pocket until you meet that before they'll cover it in full. And that's even for the things that they cover and the claims that they don't already deny. It's a joke. It's an actual joke. Don't ever let them take your healthcare away from you. I'll sometimes see it in the UK, them trying to start to creep toward that and try to brainwash people. Do not let them brainwash you into thinking private healthcare is good. It is criminal.
Extremely expensive group to insure. If you get laid off when you're 58, it's incredibly expensive. Like, there's a huge bunch of problems that happen there. And Joe Lieberman personally killed a Medicare buy-in. But like, if we could get the Medicare age down to 60, it costs about $25 billion a year, a tiny, tiny fraction of the budget. And that alone would bring healthcare costs down for fucking everybody just by dint of getting this pool of expensive people to insure off. But like, these are the kinds of things I think we should be talking about, like simple fixes that get us on the road to Medicare for all. Because Like Ro kind of said, like, you're not surprised by the reaction.
If they were serious about being on the road to Medicare for all, they would drop the age of Medicare to like 40. That way people could really experience the benefits, and it would move the whole country toward it immediately. Immediately.
Incredible amount of anger and antipathy towards health insurance companies. We should target it. We should direct it towards a political aim that could actually help people as soon as possible.
But you're not going to do that.
Guess what? If there were Democratic majorities in Congress and Democratic president, we'd get a public option. We didn't last time around, even though Joe Biden proposed it, because we had Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. If we had won the Senate this time around and won the House and won the presidency, then we'd be talking about a public option first.
No, we wouldn't. Absolutely no, we wouldn't. I'm about to get mad. This is a fucking lie. This is a lie. A lie. The lies. What you just heard from Jon Favreau, or whatever the fuck his name is, that if Democrats do this to you all the time, okay? This is literally Lucy in the football, okay? I really want you guys to understand this, okay? Please. I really want you to understand this. Democrats, when they do this Lucy in the football routine where they say, oh, if we just had a Democratic majority, we would have gotten you a public option, is a fucking lie. They had a super majority during the beginning of Obama's first term, a super majority. And you know how a second ago he just said, oh, well, it was Joe Lieberman, it was these other people that killed the public option, and that's why we didn't get it. And then he goes, if we had both houses of Congress now, we would get a public option. No, we wouldn't. And why didn't we? Why didn't we during Joe Biden's term, even though he said he would give us a public option in 2020 when he got elected? What was the reason for us not getting that public option, right? Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. As I was just saying a second ago, please, you guys, put this together. Just as I was saying a second ago, there is always a boogeyman. There is always a reason why Democrats can't get you the things they say they're going to try to get for you. And there is always and always will be a Joe Manchin and a Kirsten Sinema and a Joe Lieberman. They always have some excuse. So for him to have the goddamn minerals to come out here and lie to your fucking face and say, oh, if we had just had Democratic majorities in Congress, then you would have a public option, is a fucking lie. And you know why? Because that's what they do every time. And that's exactly what they did when Joe Biden got into office. So whether it was Joe Lieberman denying you care and saying that we couldn't have it back when Obama was in office, or whether it was Joe Lieberman and Kirsten Sinema when Biden was in office after he had promised that he would fight for a public option when he got elected, or whether or not if Democrats had gotten majorities in both houses of Congress and a Democratic president have won, they would have had two other hacks like John fucking Fetterman and like, who's another giant fucking corporate stooge hack in Congress and the Senate? Somebody like, what's the name of the senator from Jean Shaheen? Is that her name, from New Hampshire? That fucking hack. They would have had those two fucking hacks deny the votes for a public option. It's all a lie. It's all a lie to make you think that, oh man, if we would have just had, you know, a couple more Democratic senators or Democratic Congress people in the House, we'd get that public option. No, it's Lucy in the fucking football every single time. They would have come up with two other losers. Chris Coons, that's such a good example somebody just used. Yes, Chris Coons, he's a perfect fucking shill who would have been that blocking vote. And then what Jon Favreau, what would he come out and say in the Pod Save Bros? He'd go, well, guys, you know what we're going to have to do? I'm sorry that you didn't get a public option this time. You're going to have to vote harder next time. You're going to have to vote harder in 2026 during the midterms. You're just going to have to vote a little bit harder. And maybe if we get a bigger majority in 2026 during the midterms, maybe you can get that public option. Lies. They are controlled fucking opposition. And the only reason why they say this shit is because they want to get you to vote for them with promises that maybe your spouse doesn't go fucking bankrupt if they get sick. And then when they get elected, they go, oh, sorry, we can't. Sorry, we can't. The Democrats are the party of broken fucking promises. Oh, we're gonna fight for a public option. Sorry, we can't. We're gonna codify Roe v. Wade. Sorry, we can't. We're gonna give you guys stimulus checks if you elect John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock for $2,000. Oh, sorry, we can't. You only get $1,400. Sorry, you're lucky we gave you anything at all. Poor. We're gonna give you guys a $15 minimum wage. Oh wait, we can't. Sorry, we're gonna send him some bitch in a skirt to thumbs down it. Sorry. Oh, we're going to give you voting rights. Oh, sorry, the parliamentarian. Oh, we're working tirelessly for a ceasefire. Oh, sorry, we can't. We're going to tax the rich and try to put some reins in on these greedy motherfuckers who are the cause of so many people's suffering. And we're going to negotiate all prescription drugs, not just the drugs, like 2 of them. Oh, sorry, we can't. The parliamentarian. We're going to give you the child tax credit back. Oh, sorry, we can't. The parliamentarian. Like, we see this, you guys, right? We all see this. We all see this game, this Lucy in the football game Democrats play every fucking time, where they say they're going to fight for something, and then you go out and you do your part and you fucking campaign for them and you vote for them and you work for them so they can turn around and go, sorry. Maybe next time. They're full of shit. They're full of shit. And this Jon Favreau guy is full of fucking shit when he tells you that if we had just elected a Democratic majority, that you were going to get a public option. What a fucking lie. What an insult to the intelligence, as Luigi Mangione would say. That is an insult to the intelligence of the American people if you believe that fucking shit. And we don't. We don't believe that shit. We know they're fucking lying, because after Biden got elected, you never heard about the public option again, did you? Even though we were in the midst of a once in a lifetime fucking pandemic that not only killed a bunch of people, but it also like disabled a bunch of people. Like, people don't talk about how like COVID was a mass destabilizing and mass disabling event for millions of people. No, don't talk about that. We never heard about the fucking public option again. In fact, what you actually did, if you're an American citizen, is your tax dollars went for the development of that vaccine. And then once they approved it, even though you paid for it, the healthcare companies turned around and said, okay, now you got to pay. You may have gotten the vaccine for free when it first came out, but now you got to pay because we need our profits. So even though you paid to develop it, fuck you. Give the profits to us. And if you can't afford it, we don't give a fuck if you die. That's what that is. So he can shut his fucking trap, because that is a fucking lie and no one should believe it. Jeez.
Second term. And these should be part of the, like, when we talk about like what are Democrats for, we spend a long, what is our big agenda for the future? Like, these kinds of big changes have to be part.
But it won't. And the reason why it won't is because they are financially tied to the very industries that do not want to give you health care. The only way the Democrats could really fight for the things that the people want is if they were actually the party of the working class and rejected billionaire money and rejected being owned by lobbyists and healthcare companies. They don't want to. They don't want to give that money up. Those are their real bosses. And the only way that you could ever believe them that they were actually going to do that is if they rejected the corporate sellout, the wholesale buying and purchasing of our fucking government by corporations, billionaires, foreign governments, and lobbyists that are the same people that make it so that they cannot represent you. Because they own them. They own them. So they can't represent you. That's why that's not going to fucking happen. Don't listen to anything they have to fucking say. Watch what they do. And what they do is take a bunch of money from fucking healthcare corporations. So they're not going to do shit. I got another super chat from Gangrene Thumb. Thank you so much, Gangrene, for this super chat. No matter how many Dems we elect, there will always be enough Dems to squash what we demand. Exactly. Gaslighters, disingenuous, vote their party, fuck the gaslighters. Exactly. Exactly. There needs to be a wholesale rejection of the Democratic Party unless and until, which I don't think they will, they were to actually reform. The party needs to be burnt the fuck to the ground and rebuilt. Completely rebuilt. But do you see them showing any signs of that? No. They're going to still take all the money that they're going to take from the healthcare companies. They're still going to take all the money they take from Big Pharma and work on behalf of them. They're still going to take all the blood money from AIPAC and all the other genocidal Israeli regime cheerleaders, so that not only do they refuse to do a ceasefire because their money and their income is partly dependent on it, but also they will continue to shut down any dissent within their party. They'll continue to kiss the ass of Democratic leadership because they're a hierarchical party that is a closed club that allows this top-down dictatorship where you don't question Nancy Pelosi and you don't question Hakeem Jeffries, rather than actually having, a Democratic party. Unless and until you were to see some serious fucking changes, do not believe a single word that they say, and nobody should vote for them. So long as they continue to be Republican light, they should lose elections. I'm not fucking kidding. They should lose elections so long as they continue to be Republican light. Because you know what? If people want to elect Republicans, they're going to vote for Republicans. Republicans are, yes, the party of the rich and the party of the elite and the party of the 1% and the party of the Israeli regime. And their voters are fine with that. So if that's what you want, then go vote for a Republican. The Democrats are supposed to be the opposition party. So unless and until they decide they're going to be that, don't vote for them either. Yeah, and don't get it twisted. Just because I'm trashing the Democratic Party because they deserve to be trashed because they're full of shit does not mean that the Republicans are any better. So don't get that twisted. Republicans are garbage. I don't know if you guys saw, those of you in YouTube chat who are in my community saw the video I put out about Brian Mast. The Republicans in Congress just made Brian Mast, who is one of the biggest traitors to the country, Mossad agent, boot-licking fucking sycophant to the Israeli regime, who actually served in the IOF. They made him the chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee. Foreign Affairs Committee. So don't be confused on who the fuck the Republicans are. The difference is that Republican voters, by and large, are fine with that shit. It's the Democratic base, the progressive base, the left, that are not fine with that shit. Republicans represent their base. They care about what their base thinks, to some degree anyway. But Democratic leaders and the party, they hate their base. They hate their base. They don't just not give a fuck about what their base thinks. They fucking hate them. So understand that. Malcolm X said the liberals are foxes and the Republicans are the wolves. Correct. Correct. And it's gotten way worse since then from an economic perspective, like with money in politics and the Israeli regime and the military-industrial complex and Big Pharma. They've gotten so much worse, and things have gotten so much worse since Malcolm X was alive. Anyway, so that's that on that story. Don't be deceived. Don't be fooled. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't vote. You should still vote, because how you exercise your power and let these motherfuckers know that you're not going to take their bullshit anymore is by voting for third party. Because if you just stay home, then people don't know you oppose it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I also voted, because I didn't want to just say, oh, I'm going to stay home because I opposed the genocide in Gaza. I wanted to make sure that I voted third party so that they saw my number. They saw that I was going out of my way to vote and it wasn't for them. Yeah, it's insane. The financial system is a house of cards. It is. It absolutely is. The financial system is a house of cards, and it's a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. Our whole financial system is a Ponzi scheme. All like designed and like our financial system is like an MLM. Like it's like a multi-level marketing scheme meant to like fuck over every single person that's regular and just like funnel all the money to the 1% and the corporations. We're not going to take it. No, we're not going to take it anymore. True. Okay, so with that being said, let's watch the clip because I told you guys we would of Piers, but do you condemn Hamas pearl clutching over the United Healthcare CEO's death, or the not his death, the reaction to his death. It's pretty. I actually find it really funny and fascinating that what you see is the elites and the mainstream media pundits are trying to convince you that this is a left thing, but it's not. It's an American thing. People all over America feel this way, whether you're on the left, the right, independent. People feel this way all over the country. And there is a concerted effort by people like Piers Morgan and like that loser Clay Travis, who's also like a bootlicker of the billionaire class, and right now is genuflecting at the altar of the Israeli regime so that he can get more money for his loser show or whatever the fuck. And who also, again, the Israelis have universal health care. So just, very ironic. But what I find interesting is the concerted effort like them and Ben Shapiro are trying to make to say this is a leftist thing when it's not. It's an American thing, but also they are trying to, what's also very fun and very revealing is who's getting so upset about this. Everybody that you see getting very upset about this, like the pearl clutching, the how dare you, sir? How dare you talk about the wonderful CEOs this way? Those people are all wealthy pundits in corporate media. All of them. All the people that you see getting outraged about this are wealthy pundits in, I shouldn't just say corporate media, in independent media too, like Clay Travis, who is also supposedly an independent media, but he's them too. So what you'll notice is that everybody that's actually freaking out about this is rich. They're a wealthy, out of touch pundit, including Piers Morgan. All right, hold on. I'll read a chat comment from Twitch because I don't get that many from Twitch. By the way, this stream is on Twitch too. I heard somebody else earlier say, oh, you should stream on Twitch. I do. This stream that I'm doing right now is also on Twitch. It's not just YouTube. But the reason why I don't use Twitch as like their studio or whatever is because, sorry to be a boomer, but it's incredibly confusing. YouTube is way more simple, way more user-friendly for those of us who are not tech talented. Like Twitch to me is just way too confusing and it is way too difficult to navigate. It's overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed by Twitch. So I am streaming on Twitch, but I don't use their studio.